December 2007. A man walks up to a police desk in London and says he thinks he is a missing person. He is right. Dead 5 years. Dead to the insurers, dead to the 2 sons who grieved him. Breathing the whole time. I keep this file. Here's how a man buries himself. Rewind, March the 21st, 2002, Seaton Carew on the northeast coast of England. Around 9 in the morning, John Darwin carries a red kayak across the sand, past anyone who cares to look, and paddles out. Watch closely. This is the last straightforward page in the file. Look at what stood behind him. 2 seafront houses bought on borrowed money, about £130,000 of mortgage, credit cards underneath. By 2002, the debt behaved less like a bill and more like the weather. It came through the letterbox every morning. It landed at Anne's feet. Alive, he was a man behind on payments. Drowned, he was a policy. That is the arithmetic that starts stories like this one. Honestly, you would have left those letters unopened too. No panic in it. He waited for calm water. That evening, Anne calls it in. A lifeboat goes out. A helicopter works the coast till the small hours, because a man in the North Sea in March has hours, not days. Next morning, the sea starts giving things back. A double-bladed paddle, then the kayak, crushed. Everything came back except him. Here is what the search never considered. He was never in the water. Back up the beach in the dark, into his own house, under his own roof. Not that first night, maybe, but soon after. The dead man's commute was 30 steps. 3 weeks later, a lodger takes a room at number 4. Beard, walking stick, a limp he can put on and take off. He calls himself Carl Fenwick, and he is handy. He mends the taps for the other tenants. He was not hiding from Hartlepool. He was paying Hartlepool rent. Upstairs, between the 2 houses, someone had opened a doorway in the wall and pushed a wardrobe against it. The back panel came out. In court, years later, they described it plainly. A dead man came home through the coats. April 2003. An inquest does what the sea had not. The coroner records an open verdict, and the death certificate follows, because nothing out there could say how John Darwin died, only that he was gone. That was enough. Warm paper off the copier in a cold room. It is Anne who signs, because a dead man cannot make a claim. She fills in the forms at the kitchen table while he waits upstairs. Life cover and pension, about £250,000. Mortgage gone, cards gone, letterbox quiet. The debt died that summer. The money did not. October 2003. He orders the birth certificate of a baby called John Jones, born in Sunderland in 1950, dead 5 weeks later, and applies for a passport in that name, because a form cannot tell who is holding the pen. Remember this detail, friends. On the form, under address, he wrote his own. Anne went back to the doctor's reception desk and answered the phone. People were kind. A colleague told her it gets easier after the first year. She said thank you, drove home, and made her husband his supper. That is the page I find hardest to file. Mark and Anthony came to see their mother. They sat in that living room and talked about their dad in the past tense, the way families learn to. A few feet away, a man stood behind a wall. He listened to every visit. Mark and Anthony did what sons do. They told people their father drowned, at work, at weddings, on forms, and every time they said it, they believed it harder. You carry a version of your own family you have never once checked. It stopped being a story. It was Dad. Listen, it nearly came apart on his own stairs. A tenant stopped him one afternoon and asked, "Aren't you supposed to be dead?" He did not run. He said quietly, "Don't tell anyone about this." The man shrugged and told nobody at all. 5 years, 3 names. John Darwin at home. Carl Fenwick on the stairs. In Cornwall, in 2005, he was John Williams. His one real talent was this. He could stand in a room and let people not ask. Nobody ever asked twice. And here is the engine of the whole crime. Nobody was hunting him. A missing person gets a file, a photograph, an officer with a caseload. A dead man gets a certificate and a drawer, because nobody types a dead man's name. Not once in 5 years. What finally moved him was not conscience and not police work. It was the thing every liar wants in the end, somewhere better to sit. Cyprus first in 2004, and nothing came of it. Then Panama. Warm, cheap, far away, easy about money. By 2006, the grief at home had set. It had stopped being an event and become the shape of the family. A father who drowned, a mother who coped, two grown men who visited on Sundays. Behind a wardrobe door, their father listened. The car pulled away. July 2006, an office in Panama City. They are only looking this first trip. He travels as John Jones. She travels as herself. That agency likes pictures of happy clients because that is what sells a country to the next couple. They smile. That photograph goes on the website. Then they bought in. March 2007, a company called Jaguar Properties and a two-room apartment in the city. May 2007, £200,000 for an estate up the coast at Escobal, a hotel, and boats for hire. The man who drowned in a boat was buying boats. Anne handed in her notice. She sold both houses and flew out with what was left. In the pictures from that summer, she is on a balcony above bright water. Her sons believed she had gone abroad to grieve. At the end of 2007, he came home. Why is the one page nobody agrees on? He has said he missed his sons. Others point at a Panama plan going nowhere and money running thin. Maybe both. Maybe he was simply tired of being nobody. December the 1st, 2007, a Saturday afternoon in central London. He walks into the police station on Savile Row and says, "I think I am a missing person." No tears, no speech, said like a man reporting a lost bag. He cannot remember the last 5 years, he says. His sons were phoned that night and drove through the dark to see him. Whatever you end up thinking of this man, hold on to what that hour was. Their dad, back from the sea. In Panama, Anne told reporters she had known nothing. For a few days that held, because there was nothing in the world to test it against. Then somebody at home, reading about it over a keyboard, did what no detective had done in 5 years. Typed 2 names and the word Panama into a search box. And there they were. Now the police do their part, and it takes days, not years. Cleveland detectives pull paper instead of the man, because paper keeps its own record. A passport application in a dead baby's name. A death certificate issued to the same house. Both forms carry the same address. You remembered the address, friends. Shown the photograph by a reporter in Panama, Anne said the truest thing she had said in 5 years. Yes, that's him. My sons will never forgive me. She flew home on the 9th of December. They arrested her at Manchester Airport off the Atlanta flight. July 2008, Teesside Crown Court. He pleads guilty. She does not. She tells the jury she acted under her husband's control. Both sons give evidence against her. The jury does not believe her. 15 counts, hers. 6 years, 3 months for him. 6.5 for her. That is what pleading guilty was worth. The court ordered them to repay £679,000. 6 years on, John Darwin had paid back £121 of it. In the end, the houses went. The savings went. The insurers were counted back to the penny. What was taken from 2 sons has no unit. Both were out of prison in 3 years. Mark and Anthony got their father back, then lost him again that week. That living room, 2 sons on the sofa, the photograph on the shelf, a man behind the wall. The canoe or the wardrobe, which would you never forgive? Tell me in the comments. The sea gave everything back inside a day. Only the man stayed missing. Karma does not hurry, friends. It keeps the picture. Next in the file, another quiet man, another piece of paper, another family that finds out last. Subscribe. The archive never closes.